when you finally start formal reading, because you've read to them, you're singing music to them, they're learning lots and lots of pre-reading concepts in both of those things, plus with your play. Reading should include 3 basics: learning to read, and that is the actual learning to read process, spelling and handwriting. And there's a lot of good programs. I don't recommend specific programs to people. I will talk privately to people, but not in public. But you want to find a program that encourages children through doing, hands-on fun, music, active, engaging activities. Make sure the readers in the curriculum that your child is doing, that you've picked for them, are engaging. Nothing kills a child's love for reading more than boring readers, especially when they move past that point where they've actually started reading and they're continuing to read those boring readers. You're gonna kill that candle. You're gonna blow it out. I am a phonics mama. I believe kids learn best through phonics. When I was in college, phonics was a bad word. We weren't even allowed to use it. I was just not. But I didn't drink that Kool-Aid. I absolutely have always believed that phonics is the way that kids learn the best. 40 years later, phonics is actually coming back in vogue in the public school system, which is just cracking me up. I taught first grade for a number of years, and here's what I learned when it came to reading. When the children came into my classroom, they were all over the place in terms of reading. Some didn't even know their letters and sounds. Some knew their letters and sounds, but that was all they knew. Some were reading a little tiny bit, like simple, easy words, and I had a few each year who were reading on a 3rd to 5th grade level. So I had like this huge gap. But what I always found by the end of that year, because between the ages of 5 and 7, there's a huge thing that happens with the majority of kids. The vast majority of my students were reading on a middle, 2nd grade and up level. And that's how most of my kids tested. And most of those kids were reading in the baby stage of reading. And what was even more interesting is that a chunk of kids every year had caught up with the early readers. So I usually had 3, 4, 5 kids that were now caught up with those kids that were reading on a 3rd to 5th grade reading level. Wow. I did a combination of phonics, but I also taught the kids the high frequency words, because those are words that they're going to see in their books. And I used the curriculum the school bought, but I also supplemented with lots and lots of learning centers and games.
Which goes back to what you were talking about earlier. It's that play that is so important. That's really cool, and encouraging too at the same time.